Good morning, everybody. My name is Adrian. I don't do this often, but I am the current president of Iops. And this morning I am telling you that I am proud to be associated with this institution, and I'll show you why. So, like Brendan did on his Business 101 on Monday morning, I'd like for us to go through 2021 as a year for us. We started 2021, or we have experienced throughout 2021, economy taking a dip. We had riots, we had the virus, we had lockdowns in various stages, we got unemployment at phenomenal rates, we had droughts in certain areas, we had load shedding, we had issues with corruption and fraud and exploitation and people taking over entities. But throughout all of this, I can tell you that we survived. I spoke to Steve earlier. Somehow in our human nature, it is something that is built into our DNA. We do survive, and we do make the best of whatever crosses our path. So if you don't mind, we can have a quick look at the year that has gone by, and it's gone by very quickly. I'd like to say that or I'd like to start off with saying that we started the year in lockdown level 3, and we didn't know what to expect. There wasn't anything like this happening before. We started 2021 thinking that we've seen the worst in 2020, and we kicked off the year in level 3. But behind the scenes and an ongoing process of interacting with different bodies, with different organizations, making sure that we keep moving forward. In January, we reached an agreement with Harambee to train plumbers. For those of you that don't know, Harambee is a youth empowerment organization. So we've been working with them for a while now, and we've got young people coming into the system, being trained with them as being the driving force behind that specific initiative. In PPGI, you'll see it's a public-private growth initiative in the presidency, and basically what they're responsible for is smoothing out issues between government and private sector with regards to growth in business or growth in general. So you can see that we've got our feelers in different areas. So we had Skills for Prosperity. They're basically a UK-based fund with about 100 people gone through the ARPL process. So you can see it is quite a sizable venture. Then, showing confidence in our abilities, Nedbank came back to us for the third phase of plumbers that they would like, or people that they would like trained. So kudos to the training guys that have actually done such a nice job on the first two. Then, as far as our members are concerned, you'll see that in February, we started an initiative called Claim Your Listing, which was an extension to the Find a Plumber function or app on the Google. And in November alone, if you look at November 2021 in isolation, plus minus 5,500 consumers clicked through to contact members. So it wasn't a case of just looking who the plumbers are in your area. We're talking about actually clicking through and contacting members. 5,500 for November only. So all I can tell you is that if you have not claimed your listing and you're not making use of that function, the question is why not? So in March, water bylaw research, it was a nationwide effort. We embarked on a process of researching the bylaws in various local authorities. Some of them have been written in the late 50s, early 60s, never been updated. A lot of them don't have. So by doing that research, we plan on engaging with these local authorities and assisting them. Privy Seal, bit of a new one for the plumbers. They've been used by architects, etc., for a bit. We've had an increase in the number of fraudulent certificates and forms being filled in, and people claiming to be Iops a member using people's company names and numbers. So basically what Privy Seal is, it's a unit, or it's let's call it a picture, for lack of a better word, that is actually date and time stamped. So as a registered member, you'll find that if you had to take your Privy Seal and add it to an email, or add it to the bottom of a letter that you send in, or to a tender or whatever, you'll find that when you draw that, or you go to that link and you actually add that Privy Seal, you'll see it's date and time stamped for accuracy, and only you can access that link. So it becomes a bit of a signature that is date and time stamped to make sure that it's original. Then we entered into a cooperation agreement with the Water Research Commission. They are involved with various water saving efforts, etc. And the cooperation agreement basically means that if water moves, or if wastewater moves, then we are part of what happens there. So we moved to lockdown level 1, and people started leaving their places of residence. They started moving around. So we had quite a number of successful World Plumbing Day events held in March. In April, there was an initiative by government, also led by the Water Research Council, or they were part of it, where we did some minor inputs with regards to non-sewer sanitation. In other words, for sanitation not using potable water, or not wasting potable water. It's still starting off, early days there, but the fact that we're involved means that we'll be able to look out for the interest of plumbers and do a bit of a contribution. SA Youth Mobi, they deal with the alleviation of employment amongst the youth. We've had some meetings with them. All sounds very positive. Then in May, we did water and sanitation industrialization master plan. Getting involved with a top-down approach. The perception, or the trend, is normally for the people to start looking at bulk, start looking at what the municipalities do, by getting our members involved, or representing our members, trying to get a foot in the door with regards to what affects the plumbers on the ground. Jesse, I can tell you something very new, something very interesting, and very, very exciting. Gender equity, social inclusion. I can tell you it is a South African Women in Plumbing, our OPSA and our Rambi initiative. And what has happened is it's gone beyond talk, it's gone beyond paperwork and nice to have and chats. These people have actually been going around to our TVET colleges, to training facilities, talking to the apprentices, talking to the learners, explaining to the chaps, hey guys, it's not on. We don't slap women on their bum when they go past you, or we don't hug people in passages, and etc. etc. You treat women with respect. You do the equity thing. You do the whole let's start treating women with the respect that they deserve from a young age, and it's wonderful to see what these people get up to. We signed a service level agreement with the Energy and Water SETA with regards to some training that they would like to have done there. We did meetings with the Insurance Forum, trying to get our members, or trying to get these insurance agents, or what are they, incident managers, get our people involved, deal with what they deal with. You'll find that there's a number of municipalities being mentioned here, Waterberg being one of them. I think Mfuleni is being mentioned later. There's quite a number of municipalities that we've been dealing with, or that have approached IOPSA to help with their bylaws, to help with the enforcement, or to help with the establishment of some form of control of what happens with the plumbing in the area. NBI, the business initiative, growing township economies, making sure we've had meetings with them. making sure that if there's anything happening that could help our members in that area or in that region, that we get involved. And then July was an absolute nightmare. We had former President Zuma arrested, and it was like lighting a keg. We had huge riots in KZN and Gauteng, and it affected everybody. It was an involuntary, it was just an overflow of chaos in all of these directions. I'm proud to say that between our OPSA and CIF, we collected and we donated food to those people affected by the riots in those various areas. And at the same time, we plumbing assistance to those affected in that very same region. I'd like to take this opportunity for any of the guys in the KZN area. I know Mr. Brown's lurking somewhere in the background. To him, to his whole team, Garth, the whole KZN Regional Exco, for jumping out and being at the coalface and making sure that these donations and assistance to everybody that was required actually happened. It's one thing planning it, getting it implemented is something altogether different. So to the KZN guys, thank you very, very much, as well as the Gauteng guys. Sorry, I keep looking past Gauteng there. The Poppy Act, it's something that we've always been aware and we've always been quite sharp with that, but basically in July it became compulsory to protect information. So no one can approach us and ask for your details, etc., without your consent. Department of Employment and Labor, we had some very nice meetings and interaction with them. And then in August, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Plumber Business Forum. They are a very exciting group of, at this stage, mainly black plumbing companies in the KZN area, but on the ball. I can tell you they are keen, they're on the go, they move, they're energetic. So it was actually very interesting to find out that we had, and I think they've got quite a big membership, if I remember correctly as well. So BITCAU, the Building Construction Allied Workers Union, had some dealings with them. Not that our members or a lot of our members actually belong to that union, but the meetings we had was on behalf of our members because we are involved in the same building industry. So if there's anything that affect or could affect our members as subcontractors on a building site, or as in general when it comes to working in the industry, we did the talks there. So insurance forum meeting again, and then Brendan already got excited about this on Monday. So I'm just going to mention that for the first time, you can actually go on the internet and find female plumbers with fittings, with tools, etc. Because if you Google plumber, you'll always find these ugly buggers, or you'll see plumbers crack, or you'll see whatever jokes come up. Now, when you go onto the internet, you'll find that we've actually got some good-looking ladies on this female plumber photo shoot to be used for training material, etc., etc. On the subject of ladies, we appointed a brand new treasurer for Iops, Celeste Leroux, very competent lady. I'd probably need an hour if I need to run through her CV and her achievements. I think the best thing I can tell you about her at this stage is that if your status says, don't be a lady, be a legend, that should tell you exactly what she's all about. So very excited to have her on board, and she's already starting to show value, or she's already starting to be a part of the system like she's been there forever. In September, I never thought I'd see this, but it became an issue, or it became something that we had to deal with. So Iops took the initiative and we did a industry maternity policy development, or we have developed a policy simply to cover for the ladies that are not employed, that are learners or apprentices, and they do happen to fall pregnant. If you're employed, you do get maternity leave. It's different with these people being trained. You miss blocks at college, you miss practical. So we needed to accommodate for these ladies. Then we formed a partnership, a skills partnership between ourselves, DHET, which is the Department of Higher Education and Training, and GIZ, and all in an effort to expand or to increase the efficiency, if you want to call it that, for the training being provided, the new material being added, and then GIZ largely involved with the actual digitization, of the learning material. So Mopani, you'll see, is one of those that requested assistance at meetings with or between Iops and Jaswick with regards to material. We did BCO training. Guys, it's when you say building control officer training, in an effort to make sure that the building control officers that actually operate in your area where you work, that it becomes a help both sides. Then we were invited to join SANEDI with the South African National, let me just get this, Energy Development, sorry, I thought there was something there, and Water Research Council and SABS, in order for us to align the taps and showerhead standards. For the guys that have worked on these standards or worked with them, you'll find that there's always been a requirement for the minimum flow when it comes to designing sanitary taps and fittings and showerheads. So now, to align them with the water efficiency standard that's been out there or that has been published, we're now also looking at the maximums. Our training department formed a forum that includes all parties involved, be it DHET, be it the accredited training providers, be it all of the people involved with training or responsible for training. We've all gone in there, and they are now singing off the same hymn page, more or less, but there's a forum. So if there are any issues, it gets discussed and it gets sorted out same time. So no hassles there. All to make sure that the service or the value that we add as far as training is concerned is aligned throughout the whole country. So then in October, we went back to level 1, and the guys started operating slightly more freely. One of the major things that happened, I'm not going to go through the 2 municipalities, you know what those are about. The NADAP regulations, NADAP being the National Artisan Development Advisory Board. There were regulations published. OPSA did a written submission to people involved saying that, you know what, you have got this body and it's a very nice body and we need such a body, but we had no artisans or artisan bodies like our OPSA representing artisans. We had none of those. So our comments were noted, and I'm sure we'll see some new developments on that front shortly. And DHET then started a compulsory registration of artisans progress. It's in process. It's still in progress. It's still being worked on. So you'll find some new developments early in 2022. And then we had some meetings with Proudly SA. You'll see the slide just now. Basically encouraging each other, or bodies encouraging each other to look after our economy and uplift our economy as it is at the moment. In October, we also obtained observer status at the Building Industry Bargaining Council in the Western Cape. We don't have a vote there yet. We just, as it is, we represent the plumbers, or we represent the industry in an observer status. In November, a couple of things happened. The World Toilet Day events happened all over the country. We did a number of those. Then Mfuleni municipality, like I said, same with the West Rand. And Department of Public Works, we had some very nice interaction with them. They're looking at upskilling their own people, and the using of qualified people on their projects was also very high on the agenda. And we applied at the Department of Labor to become an official employer body. That in itself is a major, being professionals and being part of a professional setup, it was important. And then the National Building Control Forum. I did a presentation there together with Steve Brown and Lorraine. The main thing being that, or the presentation was based on a no name and shame setup, but we took a case study in a specific area and we broke it down, and the presentation that was done to the BCO simply emphasized the cost of non-compliance. So when they look at a job or they look at a building plan that, or the job doesn't look like the building plan, there are implications. So we did a presentation to their national forum. And when I say national, guys, there were the municipalities represented there that I've never even heard the name of. And then we also kicked off a project to assist contract plumbers being the construction guys. So setting up a better platform or better starting off point, making sure the guys are covered when they do this work within the building industry. So watch this space early in 2022. And you'll be surprised to see what we've been coming up with. Okay, community work, I can probably talk on this for a whole week, but we don't have that week. So I'm just going to ask you to, when you look at the screen, we had a Champions for Charity boxing event, what's that, 2 weeks ago? 50,000 Rand was raised for charity at that event. We do, or most, when I say, okay, let's just say when we, being our OPSA, our members, our whole industry, assistance and donations to various colleges throughout the country. In Elsie's River in the Western Cape, we had Holy Cross Children's Home being assisted. Benoni, we had Major Care Centre, East London, Guardians of Hope, 67 toilets for Mandela in KZN, Bloemfontein Centraal Laer School in Free State. Well done to those guys. Brendan discussed at length on Monday morning the job in Hillbrow that they went to. Krugersdorp, community cleanup, Edenvale. We even had our head office guys and girls involved with cleaning up Edenvale there. And then obviously donation of food, KZN Rides, Herbertsdale Primary School in the Southern Cape. Shout out to you guys down there. And then from our side, to every plumber in his or her region doing their bit to improve quality of lives in their own community. We all know it happens. If the church has got a leaking tap, or the school's got a blocked drain, or the creche has got no water, our members are out there working, our members are out there assisting and making life better for the people out there. And then just lastly, looking ahead at 2022, it is definitely unpredictable and uncertain, making your planning and scheduling becoming slightly harder. From that new COVID-19 variant, we're never sure what pops out there. So we're looking at various possible phases of lockdown. The newly elected municipalities throughout the country, we're looking at coalition municipalities. Nothing is cast in stone where you work. The body in charge or the party in charge might change overnight. We're definitely expecting big price increases on material, metal and oil prices, rand, dollar, global supply. I mean, you can already see at the end of this year, getting material was a bit of an issue. Green economy, without water, without electricity, water harvesting, energy efficiency, smart tech, it's going to be opportunities for the guys. There's a current case between the Competition Commission against the insurance sector. You're looking at what's happening there. Government infrastructure, spending versus failing infrastructure. Be interesting to see what happens with that. The infrastructure obviously needs to be maintained and replaced. Hopefully our members can get into that. And then regulatory environment, possibilities for professional plumbers as the news tightens and as the rules and regulations tighten up. We'll definitely be looking at more possibilities for that. And the main message is we are going to need to be flexible and react quickly to change. It is not even negotiable. And then almost in closing, part of the meeting that we had, buy local to save jobs. Our current economic climate, it's tough. You can imagine if it's tough for you as a business owner, the lady selling stationery or the guy selling PPE, everybody's going through that same thing. So what we're basically asking is you need to start supporting the local businesses, not only through our own when we buy material, etc., but when there's an opportunity to buy PPE from a local company or stationery or whatever you need to buy for your company, support the local guys. And I'm sure if we all have that approach, then you'll probably find that they'll start supporting your company as well. Thank you guys for your support during 2021. And I mean that. I mean, our members are out there doing their thing, but you're also supporting Iops as an institution. So thank you for that. For the guys that are traveling, that are leaving on holiday, either Friday or next week, Wednesday, travel safely, enjoy a well-deserved rest, look after your families, make sure that you stay healthy and keep doing that COVID thing. And the guys and ladies working through, take care, be safe, make sure you and your staff stay safe and ready for 2022. And then just to make sure that Mr. Brown doesn't get time off, I'm going to put the slide up here. Our offices will close on the 15th of December and reopen on the 3rd of January. Steve Brown, Kurt Vermaak, Brendan Reynolds, available on standby if needed. And I can tell you from experience, even your regional exco, if you need something done and you contact them, they'll jump out there and do it for you. So before I say cheers, Mr. Brown, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think, Adrian, thanks very much for this morning. And again, your commitment throughout the year to Byron and the team, that are in the background and make things happen. I think, from all of our members and attendees, it really is good to have the backup that we have, from the team, from Articulated in terms of getting these things done. And, when we look at what we've achieved over the year, and, it wouldn't be done without the support of our members. And I think the key thing is that we're here to serve, we're here to make things happen, and we can see it happening. And, these are just the major items. If we take on a daily basis, the calls, the assistance, the queries, the arbitration items that we do, et cetera, it's a great team with great leadership. And I think, Adrian, with you being our president and Brendan, keeping the ship straight and the team, we're here to serve. And I just want to thank everybody for their commitment, the time that they've spent with us this year. If anybody has any suggestions for Tech Talks or Business 101, please just put it through to us so that we can have a look at it. And as you've said, Adrian, let's stay safe. Let's have a good festive season, behave if that is possible for us. And I look forward to seeing everybody in the new year.